Everybody, this is Capitalist from Join Dota. I have with me Weppas. Usually the man behind the camera is actually going to be in front of the camera for once. How's it been going so far, buddy?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Just exhausted since we did the last week as well. Like phase 2 was a lot of games and it's like 10 to 12 hours per day for 7 days. It's a lot of work, but it's fun to do. So, I mean, I'm just exhausted, but it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, you really have a job that's pretty underappreciated. I mean, occasionally we'll get a Reddit thread or something saying, oh, Weppas, you're doing such a great job. But most of the time, people don't really understand, like, how much you're actually working, right? I mean, it's just basically you and Scriff doing camera work, correct?
Yeah, and since we're only 2 and Bogdan and Drejic wants their own observer, Scriff is doing the Swedish stream and I'm doing the English stream. So we're actually doing every single game just on different streams. And last week we had we only had an English stream for like the weekdays, and then during the weekend we had a Swedish stream. But Scriff was doing driving then instead, so I was still doing every game in the English stream. So it's it's a lot of work, but it's kind of get used to it, I guess. But you also get some breaks once it's done, so it's pretty good.
Yeah. Do you enjoy it? I mean, you get to sit and watch a whole bunch of Dota games, but there's got to be some burnout, right? I mean, it's just like casting too much. You got to get a little bit of burnout eventually, right?
Well, like, say for example the VP versus VP Polar games, those that were like all 60-minute games. Like, they were exciting at points, right? But like 75% of the time, it was a lot of farming, and it just gets really boring then. And when you get bored, you get really tired. So it's just like, you gotta find ways to stay awake, pretty much.
Yeah, you gotta slap yourself a couple of times.
Yeah, pretty much.
After you realize you're doing a little bit of the head bobbing. Oh God. Yeah.
No, but so, I mean, it gets, we're not really boring. Like, Dota is always fun to watch.
Yes.
It's just,
you have to concentrate
it gets tiring. Right? Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's kind of like I have to play the game in a different way than I play it normally. Like, when I play it normally, I look at my hero, but now when I watch the game, I have to look at the minimap and everybody's health bar. So it's kind of like the same kind of concentration, just in a different area of the game. So it's tough, but I mean, you get tired, but who doesn't? I mean, casters get tired as well. Like, it's a lot of work.
You basically gotten into this because there was just, you guys needed a dedicated observer at one point in time, right? I'm talking like a couple years back.
Yeah, we did a DreamHack Invitational first time, which I believe was almost 2 years ago now. It was when Cupid Red Pandas was still around.
Yep.
Strong team. And Scriff wanted to do observing because I was still doing casting then. And that was like before the TI3 qualifiers as well, so I was still doing casting then. And we wanted to try out with an observer, and we kind of felt that it's actually pretty good. Because it's the same thing as StarCraft, you know, the casters get to concentrate more on kind of what's happening in the game, and the observer just tries and show what's important. So after that, we just kind of kept on doing it, and since I got demoted from casting, since I personally, I don't think I was that good of a caster. Like, I had so much to improve on. Sometimes I was good, most of the times I wasn't. So I'm kind of happy that I got into this position because it was a good transition, and I'm glad I haven't like pushed Scriff away fully because he still gets to do a lot of observing, and it's pretty good because you need more than like one observer at an event. Yeah. Honestly, it's just a lot of work.
Right. So then, do you have, since you're the one spending all the time doing the camera work, you know, casters will have their own ideas for suggestions, but you're really the one who's like doing so much observing. Do you have any things that you would like Valve to implement? I mean, we had the scroll back, right? That was really nice to have. We've had smooth drag. All these sort of things are nice. But is there something that you would like to see improved on?
I mean, we got the kind of assisted camera operator that we got during TI that I'm using, which is the one that makes it pretty much like directed camera, but in like real time. So we get to choose where we jump on the map, but it tries to like frame in the heroes and stuff. So it's really nice to use, and it makes it a lot easier. But other than that, the only thing I could still think about is maybe if you can get like binds for all the heroes, so you can just like double tap on the keyboard. You have like 1 through 0, which is binds on the heroes. But otherwise, it's not something really that's like super important for me, at least, where I feel that something needs to change, because we also got the commands for the zoom and stuff, so we can change that depending on how much we feel we want to show. So it's nothing really right now.
So getting away from being a dedicated observer, man, your time in the Good House, you've been there for a really long time. You guys recently had your move over. Do you want to talk about any of that? What you guys, obviously, we can't talk about what you have planned necessarily, but do you guys have plans for the future? You guys?
I mean, we're going to try and keep the good meal going.
Right.
Try and improve the format a bit since we've kind of replaced a good show with a good meal instead.
Yeah.
It just became a hassle. Like, it was a lot of fun to do, but everybody was kind of tired of the format. It was the same thing. So doing the good meal instead, and we're going to try and really keep it weekly as soon as we kind of like get back from all this.
Yeah.
It's hard to do when we have like other big things going, especially something like DreamHack. So it's that, and then I guess like minor shows, if we bring the Hearthstone back or the Full of Steam. That's kind of the main things we want to try and get going again. Just being consistent again, like we were at the start, is our goal, because that's when people appreciate it, what we do. Because otherwise, it's like, oh hey, good studio doing TI qualifiers. Oh hey, good studio's gone for another year. It's like it gets.
Yeah.
I mean, we have some dedicated fans, but we want to be able to give them more content. So.
Right. And part of that, of course, is bringing in new people. Talks have been about like Shane and Cheever coming over, getting their own house and that sort of thing. You guys looking at anybody else that you're trying to bring in, or is it just trying to set up the studio and trying to get consistent again?
I haven't heard talks about anyone else at this point in time, but Shane and Cheever to start off at least, and then just try and get regular content pretty much. And we kind of had the studio down again after we did the VIA Game House Cup.
Right.
So after that, we're going to try and build a dedicated studio again and make sure that we always have something where we can just drag our asses down and do a show, you know?
You guys aren't limited to just Dota, right? I mean, you guys have been, like, you guys are going into Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Right? Is there any other games, like maybe some upcoming games, for example?
I mean, Reborn in a while.
Oh, of course, right?
Yep. Other than that, I don't think there's anything like major that we would go into at the moment, like considering CSGO, but we don't really have a CSGO caster.
Yeah.
And like Anderson Summer is pretty big, so I don't know what will happen with that idea. Hearthstone is something just because we all kind of enjoy playing it, but Bruno's a major Magic fan, so he really likes like the concept of it, especially when more cards get added.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know.
Has he ever tried to convince you guys to run like a Magic tournament at the house or something like that?
No, not Magic actually. Not a Magic tournament, but we do play some Hearthstone together sometimes, but it's not often. But other than that, other games, I don't really, not in the moment. Maybe if something comes up that feels interesting, we'll try it out, or just in general do Full of Steam of every single game we can find pretty much. So.
All right, man. Well, I know you got another match coming up in an hour, so I'm sure you got to get ready to go. So I'll let you go here. Do you have any shout-outs you want to give?
Oh, shout-out to everybody at the Good Studio, our fans, and for people that actually noticed us, I guess, me and Scriff, it's quite nice to get appreciation, but it's not super needed. It's always nice to see it, but we're just glad that we can make people enjoy the tournaments better.
So you're saying those people who make those Reddit threads for you, they're the real MVP right here?
No, I'm just saying that the people that notice that we actually do the observing doesn't have to make a Reddit thread about it, but people that notice us doing it, we're just glad that we can make them enjoy what we're doing.
All right, man. Well, you've been doing a fantastic job this tournament.
Thank you.
Good luck with the rest of the day. I'm Capitalist from Join Dota. This was Weppas, and we have more interviews from the last day of DreamHack coming up at youtube.com/JoinDotaPlus.